Go download my free legato course right now and learn to play fast in the fastest way possible. Hey, how do you learn to play without looking? There's no greater beginner's image than the person who places his fingers on the fretboard and then having to look to guide your fingers to hit the right spots. And of course, you can look all you want, and eventually you will start playing without looking, because the feelings in your fingers and the feelings of the fretboard and where you're holding it, all the little details, they will guide you in the end. So you don't have to practice this, but you can. And that will actually give you multiple advantages over the one who doesn't practice not looking. It's because the way you feel the strings, from accuracy, the fret wires, everything, is a more accurate way of navigating your fingers on the fretboard than looking. If you have to look at something, and then you have to guide your fingers from the visual image of where your fingers are in relation to the fretboards. That's one thing, but you can feel the string. You can feel exactly where it is on the tip of your finger. Are you having just the tip on it, or is it the side of the finger? Where's the fret wire? These little signals, if you close your eyes and you practice with closed eyes, you have to use those. It's like blind people or people who become blind. They tend to strengthen their other senses. And the same thing goes here. If you refuse to look at the fretboard and say, I have to find a C major. Okay, we got the E string up here. Even that process where okay, this is the open string. That's the first one. Okay, where do we, doing that like that. If you're blind and you want to learn to play the guitar, that's the only way you have of learning it. And that will actually produce a faster learning because you're not cheating by looking. Cheating would be a shortcut, but that shortcut becomes a hindrance when in the long run. In the beginning, it's easier to look because then you can, and sometimes you want to just go, okay, let me see if I can find the C major chord. I can't. Okay, there it is. Okay, let me see if I can find it again. Let me go away from the fretboard. Let me see if I can find the C major again. Oh, I could. Let me see. And then you only let your vision guide you when you have to, not in the beginning. It might seem a little bit harder to navigate the fretboard or play the scale or in the beginning, but that's how it is with everything. It's harder in the beginning. But if you're willing to push through that wall of initial resistance, then the reward on the other side will be so much bigger than people who just always guide themselves by looking. There's another advantage, which is that when you look at what you do, you tend to have this, and when you look like that and your head is hanging like this, either sitting or standing, then it weighs like 100 times more, at least 10 times more, for the muscles in your back, in your upper back, and your neck than if you're balancing it on top of your head. You can stand like this forever, but this will give you a bad back and a bad neck. And if you practice a lot, I practice 8 hours a day in the weekends. If you practice like this for 8 hours, you are bound to have problems in your body. So if you can also, I used to practice sitting down, which meant that I always had this slouching, right? And then I could feel the in my back after 6 hours of sitting like that on a Saturday. And so I also realized when I was playing out in front of people that I couldn't see the fretboard suddenly. I was, strap on like that. I had my strap on and then I was looking to the fretboard. I could only see it from the side. So now I had no choice but to play in blind. Right? But that's a bad thing to do when you want to perform and show your best skills and then you can't see anything. And you're used to being able to see anything. So my best advice to you is when you sit down, sit upright. Sit at the edge of a sofa, upright, with the guitar on your left leg here, if you're or right-handed. So you got that playing position like that. And stand up 50% of the time at least with the strap on, and then make sure that that will just teach you both. You will, because also the changing from sitting to standing when you perform, if you don't practice standing, then you'll just run into problems because you can't see the fretboard, and it's a totally different playing position. So if you want to be able to stand when you perform, stand when you practice, right? If you want to be able to move your back when you're 50, then stand when you practice and don't look at the fretboard. See how much you can do without looking, and then look if you have to. That's a pretty good piece of advice, actually, because it will teach you to get better faster, right? Because the looking is actually a shortcut that we use in order to direct our fingers. Without it, you are forced to develop faster and navigate by the minute little differences in feeling when it comes to string and neck and everything, and that is faster in the long run than looking. Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.